Um, you know, Maeve, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to talk about certain topics around you because I know you're kind of smack dab in the middle between, you know, the law and the other side. And I hope you understand that that's only to protect you, you know? It's,
I will say, I get where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, like, protecting myself in Forte is gonna be the top of my priority list. And historically, every single time that someone has tried to keep information from me to protect me, it's ended up in me getting hurt because I didn't know enough to keep myself safe. But I won't press you for anything you're unwilling or uncomfortable sharing. I know you
yeah.
have ties to people that you have an interest in protecting.
I swore something to my father before he passed. Number one, always keep your word. Even if it's years later. Slips your mind. You're reminded of it. You keep that word. Second, always assume what you're told is done so in confidence. And you keep your mouth shut even if that means you get hurt yourself. And the way Los Santos is nowadays, it's hard to do that because it's seen as keeping secrets. And the reality is it's not your secret to keep. I don't know. You said, is there any chance things may be related? My answer to that is, it's a possibility. But it's San Andreas. So much is fucking interconnected. You never really know.
True.
And it's dangerous for me to make a very hard stance. Hell, I'm dealing with, God knows, most of the demons I've been fighting, I feel, for the past 6 months is just fucking rumors. No one trusts anybody anymore. Truth doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. It's what you feel is right is the truth, is your truth.
That would be San Andreas in a nutshell, yeah. Nearly every struggle I face since I've gotten here has been people spreading misinformation or believing what they want to believe or acting on their feelings.
Yeah.
Pixie painting me out as like an over-ambitious whore that sleeps with her clients when she's just projecting, like, just basic shit like that. That's always what it is. It's always just people acting on rumors and assumptions, not bothering to get multiple sides of a story.
You know, maybe that's why I became a lawyer. You know what I mean? The idea that you can find the truth. Because the truth is what leads to proper justice. So let me tell you what I know about Norman, and I don't want to dig my hands too much deeper, but I feel like I'm going to have to, and it's going to be a little difficult for me. And I give this disclaimer in that sometimes I feel a special kind of conflicted, but sometimes you don't really have a bit of a choice. So I am going to try my best to stay out of the supernatural and the rumors floating around that lighthouse. TLDR, I don't want Nino to get too involved with the Norman Bone stuff unless I really need to, because Brian is very accustomed to it, and I don't want to make mistakes.
There's a logical explanation for everything. But I'm struggling with the whole fire started on the inside bit. I haven't found the logical explanation for that yet.
The only thing that I am aware of is a number of I knew Norman back when he was a lawyer. We used to have a bar license together. Man used to walk around in a gray peacoat. And, he was a good lawyer. He was. However, as to whatever, like, this shit is that I keep hearing, you know, I don't know what's up and I don't know what's down. But I've had to deal with, like, fucking blood on statues and people coming back from the dead. Fucking... and then dead again. All of your fucking court. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dead 1 minute, alive, and then dead again. Whether it's medical, whether it's magic, I don't fucking know. I mean, there's usually a logical explanation for everything.
That's what I keep telling myself.
I got off the phone with Tilly a little bit ago.
Oh.
Apparently, when she was telling me about how Edgar was going to kill her if she got involved with a bunch of heavy shit, right? And she's like, and I would call up Brandon and be like, hey, what's going on? Can you separate him? Like, you know, Brandon being my man on the other side that can at least, like, you know, he's clicked up with Edgar. It's pretty well known. But he was trying to balance things on his side, me on mine. But when I would talk to him about it, Tilly would freak out and say, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me, oh my god, what did you do? I can't believe you did this. Like really just upset, beyond more upset than I've ever seen her get upset, right? While I'm over here trying to help her out, right? Because she doesn't know any better. She could be doing something and she doesn't even know that whether it's legal, illegal, whether it's gonna get her hurt or not. So I'm trying to be a fucking good friend, a good employee, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But somehow, with that last conversation, all the fears I had for her, based on what she told me, translated into, but Nino, you told me that he would hurt me if I didn't stay away.
I mean, she should realize that that is a risk that you take when getting involved with criminals in general, that it comes at a danger to yourself. It doesn't matter if they're a psychopath like you guys saying Edgar is, or if it's like the fucking besties. You risk dying when you do crime. Like,
I am so grateful for you, Maeve. I didn't even fucking realize. You're right. It wasn't even that complicated. It really was just like, hey, you're messing around with a gang, you're gonna get hurt. Like, it's not even like it is cold. It is because it is snowing.
yeah, like it's like crime is dangerous. That's literally the name of the fucking game.
Wait a minute, she's right.
If you're going to get involved with people, and even if she's not like committing crimes herself, right? Like even if she's not out there like performing blood sacrifices or whatever, if you hang around with people who are willing to kill and hurt other people, eventually, as the nature of human interactions, you are going to piss
just
people
realized
off and put yourself in danger.
I'm a victim of gaslighting. I can't believe I'm even like, until you said this, like I've been like so like knee deep in trying to like untangle this spaghetti that the obvious was the obvious.
Anytime you interact with anybody who, I mean, we've had this conversation before about my philosophy about like how it's easy to do the bad things because they're selfish, and it's hard to do the good ones because you have to think about others. Like that's the same fucking thing, right? Like the people who are willing to do the bad things are inherently selfish and will hurt you in some way, physically, financially, reputationally, whatever, if it means that they can accomplish their goal and if you do not benefit them. That is literally like the basics of how these people operate.
I have more in this past year been more understanding of individuals, more concerned of how they feel and making sure that I can find a way to make their life happier.
That's not a bad thing.
It seems to have turned into a bad thing.
No. It's always worth it, I think, to be that considerate, empathetic, generous, whatever person. It can be hard and it can get you hurt, or maybe even just feeling like you're giving and giving and everyone is taking and taking with little in return to fill up your own cup. But
you know, it gets very exhausting after 6 months of it.
It does. It is very exhausting to fill up others' cups from your own and not have your own be filled in return. That is a feeling I know very well. But
I don't even, that's the thing, Maeve, I don't even want my cup to be filled. It's a claim that it is. That's where the draining part comes from. But how's Forte looking? How long ago was this?
it was the 28th in the evening.
Brian Viewer is in shambles right now.
Stable, but he is asleep. Hasn't woken up. He's basically covered head to toe in second and third degree burns.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's not great, but I mean, barring any new unexpected complications, I don't think he's going to die. He woke up at one point while they were transporting him to the hospital, I guess, and he screamed that Norman Bones is real, but that's all he's really woken up since he was found. I've been staying at the hospital with him, but you know, I gotta go home and change clothes and shower and try and live a life eventually, so it's I don't know. All I know is that he was seen talking to Pixie. And then suddenly he was very off. And he left, and he was found at the lighthouse a little while later.
Forte's underground name, the Burning Man. Stop.
Edgar and whoever else are doing ooky, spooky, scary stuff at the lighthouse aren't lighting people on fire. They're shooting them, they're stabbing them, they're doing normal murders and attempts at murder. Lighting Forte on fire is a targeted and personal.
You know how flies attract themselves to shit? It could be one of those situations. Things may be somewhat related, but unrelated. People start going missing here and there. Next thing you know, Chang used to send people off that fucking cliff, right? To be all over social media. I think they called it the Chang special. There's probably more bodies at the end of that fucking lighthouse just from those little and vehicles. I'm surprised the bodies don't peek out of the water.
Well, I mean, Larry and I nearly got sent over that cliff by Tony Corleone of all fucking people.
Larry Knox?
Yep. About a week and a half ago. Got picked up off the highway by Tony. They were saying something about Larry being possessed by a demon or something and having to save his soul.
God damn it.
was going to be a life for life thing, but Nakota and some of the other deputies or officers, I think it was just BCSO, were watching from the other side of the road. They saw it, got a bit spooked, and then Forte called me to make sure that I was okay. They had me answer it, and I told him in code that I wasn't okay and where I was. And so he sent officers, and they ended up leaving before things got before the police got there, and then police ended up pursuing them, but they didn't do anything to Larry or I. Larry went with them when they left me there at the cliffs, and then I told Forte that Larry wasn't safe and wasn't okay, and they got Larry out. I think I was just kind of unlucky. I don't think I was really targeted. I think I was just wrong place, wrong time. But
I mean, you get taken hostage a lot.
Not really, no.
Oh, okay, sorry. Maybe it's just few times I heard. I just figured.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's happened a lot more recently, like in the last month or two. But I mean, before that, I'd never been taken hostage. I mean, I literally got picked up off the fucking highway in this case. Like, I wasn't even... It was so random. Tony, like, ran up to my car on foot on the highway. I was helping Forte and recruits do a mock traffic stop after they helped me recover my car from being stolen. I told him, too, that I was like, we're, like, just so you know, like, we're government employees, we're mayor's cabinet, like... You know, like, just so you're aware. And they were like, we don't give a fuck. I was like, okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. I've lost a lot of, Court Center is the only thing that I think I care about at this stage. The amount of time we've spent with the police department. They got their own problems. I don't think anything we can do is ever going to fix that fucking mess. I don't blame Daisy and Peters. They got to handle what they can.
Yeah.
They call it cry bullying.
I'm starting to lose faith in them, but...
Well, there's a lot of good ones. It's just, it's a San Andreas thing. You can't make everybody happy. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, fucking, that's where I see why I need this court center to succeed. People need to learn to, work together again.
Build each other up rather than shoot at each other and tear each other down.
My end goal... maybe this is a little bit too, like, dreamy or whatever you might call it. Maybe it's insane. Is that at a certain point, the court center is understood that it should not be touched. Not because of who's managing it. Not because of who's working there in particular. Who's interested there. But rather recognizing it that it is some kind of sacred ground. The one place you can go to and know that it's not going to be about what gang or what clique or whatever is going to do, but rather, you know, you walk in there like a normal fucking person.
If nothing else, I would hope that the various organizations in the city will recognize, assuming that, you know, Court Center is successful and accomplishes the things we want it to, that conducting that sort of business in Court Center is against everyone's best interests.
Yeah. That is what I've tried to portray. And I think most have been on board. I mean, minus Edgar shooting me there, but, you know. I don't want, if anybody while I'm away gets hurt because of him, try not to retaliate.
I'm not really a go and shoot people up kind of girl.
What do you mean? I thought you were like a shooter. What happened?
I've never fired a gun in my life. I have a knife for protection that I've never used.
You know, I've never bought a gun before.
You know, I've never even thrown a punch. Not once.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know how. I mean, and that's not to say that I can't be spiteful or petty or want revenge or be angry if the situations are right. I'm slower to anger, I think, than many people. But if I was going to retaliate against someone, I would systemically destroy their entire life and reputation rather than go and shoot them.
Yeah.
Pen is mightier than the sword and all that.
You're not wrong. All right, Maeve. I gotta get going. You stay safe, and if there's anything you need, please do let me know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You too.
All right.
I know your relationship with Tilly was like complicated and semi or maybe entirely against your will. But for what it's worth, I'm sorry that it's causing you all this grief.
It's, I appreciate that.
If you need anything, I'm here.
Thank you, Maeve.
Yeah. I'll let you get back to the 78 things I need to do.
All right. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy the French place.
I thought she said French boys.